Think for a moment about the quietest place you've ever been in your life. Maybe you took a long winter walk as the snow fell gently, muffling everything but your footsteps. Or maybe you once moved through a vast interior space where you were the only person to be seen. Whatever your experience is, you've probably been somewhere that had a low level of ambient noise. But is that quiet the same as silence? Is it even possible to experience real silence? Let's talk about it. This is ASU. Vibrations are all around us, always, and those with frequencies in our range of hearing are perceived as sound. Sound waves are around us constantly. We pick up on those in the general range of 20 to 20,000 hertz. As we age, we lose perception of the upper frequency range. Technology has made it possible for us to drown out the ambient sound with our choice of music or podcast. Being able to determine what is the most prominent sound around us might help us feel better or learn something, but it also dulls our openness to whatever is appearing, our mindfulness of the moment in which we find ourselves. This awareness has led many to seek silence as a way of connecting with their inner selves, as a way to focus on being in the moment, as the best environment for meditation. But do we ever truly experience silence? The Greek philosopher and scientist Pythagoras believed that the motion of the stars and planets produced sound, which he called the music of the spheres. Pythagoras had discovered that when material vibrates, the larger or longer the vibration, the lower the frequency. He is also reputed to have uncovered the proportions that create the signature overtones for acoustic sound. When a string or pipe, or any material generally, vibrates along its full length, it produces its fundamental pitch or frequency. But it is also vibrating in halves, producing an octave higher, in thirds, producing the interval above that, and in fourths, producing a second octave above the fundamental. These proportions govern sound vibrations. So Pythagoras concluded that similarly, the vibrations of the planets around us were creating sound that we don't perceive because it is always there, unchanging. Pythagoras was right that there are many vibrations around us that we don't perceive, but these are not created by distant astronomical bodies like the planets and the stars. We don't experience frequencies outside of our hearing range, but there is always some reflection of sound waves that lie within this range, however soft. It is possible to create a space where there is no reflection of sound or electromagnetic waves. This is an anechoic chamber. Anechoic means no reflections or echoes. This would be the only possibility for us not to hear anything, truly to experience silence. But even in an anechoic chamber, you hear two sounds, both coming from within your own body. There is a high pitch produced by the nervous system and a lower pulsing sound, that is the beating of the heart. So the ears are always receiving sound waves, if not from the external environment, then from within the body. Silence is thus a relative concept, and it pertains to focus. We hear something when we turn our attention to it. We're constantly tuning out sound vibrations that are around us. With the increased use of machines in our daily lives, there is much more ambient noise, and we tend only to notice something irregular in a steady sound pattern. Do you remember the music that was playing the last time you had a meal in a restaurant? You know there was music playing, but you probably were more focused on conversation with a friend. But when a loud, unexpected sound, the server dropping a tray of glasses, for example, reaches our ears, it will steal our attention. Silence is used in both speeches and music to call our attention to whatever comes next. An orator may suddenly interrupt her speech with a rhetorical question and silence, drawing your attention to what comes next. Similarly, silence in a musical work creates a sort of negative space, highlighting what comes next by drawing our attention to it. So though we can find ourselves some peace and quiet, finding silence isn't quite the same thing. And even in the quietest place in the world, there will still be something for us to hear, because wherever we go, we bring our own noise with us, the beating of our own heart, the sighing of our own breath, even the whirring of our nerves. While we're alive, we are always accompanied by sound. This was ASU. Thanks for watching.